Morning and welcome. Yeah, there it is. Good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show video live stream for Friday, May 30th. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Mike Weibel. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning and happy Friday.
We
smell Friday.
Smells good.
It does.
Smells good. You got a little too much aftershave on, but other than that, it's fine.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We have a lot to talk about this hour. Mike had spicy food last night, and you're on fire today.
Fuego.
You're in fuego. No, we were talking. I mean, we started off the last hour on the radio. Which, by the way, if you're on the video live stream and you know that we're here from 7 to 8, thank you. We appreciate you watching and everything. We also have the morning show starting at 6 o'clock every morning, and it goes till 9 o'clock. And
I hear a lot of people wake up to us in that 6 o'clock
That's
hour.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, that's good stuff. I hope we serve them well.
Marsha McAmer, she's one of the people that wakes up to the voice of Ken Lundberg every morning.
Oh, well, thank you, Marsha. Appreciate that.
And obviously her husband Dave is fine with that. So
Mac.
Fringy.
All right, let's see. We've got a couple other things to talk about in the news. Oh, so what I was saying was in the 6 o'clock hour today, we started off talking about the parking thing again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Everywhere I've been this week, people have said, hey, so how's that parking thing going? and I mean, it's a long conversation because, you start to hear about the different aspects of how people are deciding to interact or not with downtown St. Joe.
Right. And Brett had a great observation in that if people listen to a radio station and they go looking for something else, oftentimes you won't get them back. Same with consumers in stores. Once they find a shop someplace else, a lot of times you won't get them to come back. And I can say there was a point where I would way rather go to a place of business than go to Amazon.
Yeah.
And my wife the other day was looking for woods or whatever, something soap. I forget what it is.
Goat? Was she looking for goat soap?
Not goat soap.
Because she can get that at the Artisan Fair this weekend. That's
we might have to go buy some.
On the bluff.
Yeah. But she was like, remember we had to look over like 5 stores to find it last time? We couldn't find it.
Yeah.
As I'm talking to her, I ordered it on Amazon. It was there the next day.
Yeah.
So, but things like that changes our behaviors. And so making it more difficult for people to go downtown where there's a parking problem because things are successful may be counterintuitive to prosperity.
Well, I mean, let's take a step back. How have other communities, because we're not the first folks to implement paid parking in a downtown.
Oh, I'm sure.
How have other communities dealt with this? I'd be interested in knowing more about that.
Yeah. No, I think...
I mean, it does seem unique. I mean, I'd like to see the stats, but it feels unique to have a paid parking situation in a town of this size, or at least on a street of this size.
Right. And so when I did my little chat GPT, that too.
Yeah.
When I did that to just ask what is when communities or towns do pay for parking.
Yeah.
What are the results of that? And they gave pros, cons, and conclusion thoughts.
Oh.
And in the conclusion thought, one of the points is that it will basically work itself out if the greater plan is for public transportation and all the other things that you think of in a larger community.
Yeah.
So when you say, hey, we have parking issues.
Hang on. Clock. Alternative ways to get there. We'll continue this conversation in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Any type of credit, get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
It's an opportunity like never before. Over $3 million in inventory to choose from at Signature Hyundai in Benton Harbor as you beat the tariff increase plus special purchase pricing. You're invited to shop over $3 million in inventory, more Hyundai cars, more Hyundai SUVs and crossovers, including top sellers like the Hyundai Tucson, the Santa Fe, and the Palisade. It's every Hyundai model, each with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty and 3 years of complimentary maintenance. Plus, only at Signature, you get the $25 oil change club for 7 years or 100,000 miles, proving there's no better value than a Hyundai. Beat the tariff price increase plus special purchase pricing. You'll get to shop over $3 million in inventory. Signature Hyundai, Napier Union, Benton Harbor, and open 24/7 at signaturehyundai.com, where you'll beat the tariff increase with special purchase pricing.
You got a signature on it.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM-FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:06. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Mike Weibel. Oh my goodness! If the walls could talk.
Yeah.
Because we were waiting on the break here, and Mike is raring to go. We're on the video live
I think
stream.
it's the aura of Brett Witkowski, because he was sitting in this chair, and when I sat in it,
Is that what that's called? All right. Well, we'll have local news in just a moment. I want to give you a weather forecast. Also, a reminder, we are on the video live stream, and we'll continue our conversation there.
is that a reminder for me or for
yeah,
the,
we'll continue our conversation there in just a moment. Forecast for today, we're seeing it right now. We've got some sunshine, some clouds, partly cloudy day expected, 20% chance of showers, a high around 75 degrees. Winds out of the west, kicking up maybe to 20 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, clouds moving back in, with that a chance of evening showers and storms, but clearing up by the morning, a low around 47 degrees. The birds will be chirping. The sun will be coming up early. It's beautiful. It's summertime. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, mostly sunny. That's all I got.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to get warmer too. High around 73 on Sunday, 83 on Monday, 86 on Tuesday. Did I skip Saturday's high? Saturday's high is only supposed to be around 68 degrees, but a little cooler by the lake.
Yeah.
Lower 60s. Okay, news. Revised plans are underway for the development of the new Paddler Park in St. Joseph. Department of Public Works Director Greg Grothaus told city commissioners this week a master plan for the Riverside area has been in the works since 2022, and goals for the site include a canoe and kayak launch, an observation deck over the river, and public parking. However, Harbor Shores Development has building plans in that same area and has asked to partner with the city, making some suggestions like swapping out the porta potties for more permanent structure.
No.
Can you imagine?
No.
Adding some boat docks and adding some more parking. Harbor Shores has also offered to fund the park's development with the city. Grothaus says those updates are now part of the park's master plan.
Of a restroom/storage building in place of the Porta-John, additional docks for boats, and increased parking utilizing the Upton Drive right-of-way. Harbor Shores has offered to fund the development of the park. The city plans to apply for a grant through the Michigan Department of Natural Resources, and Harbor Shores will serve as the match for the project.
Grothaus says so far no public funding has been allocated for the development. Paddler Park is located at 213 Upton Drive, the site of the old city water tower. Park master plan calls for the location to become a popular place for kayakers to launch into the river. In addition to Harbor Shores, Grothaus says developments at the park are being planned in coordination with adjacent property owners. Commissioners approved the updated proposal, including the city's partnership with Harbor Shores. Other news, an access drive to the Orchards Mall that Mike uses was closed down by the Berrien County Road Department for safety reasons, and it will likely stay closed unless an agreement is reached with area property owners. Berrien County Administrator Brian Doucette tells us the northern access drive to the mall property off of Pipestone was closed by the department when it took out the traffic signal that used to be there.
Because the signal analysis showed that there was just not enough in-out traffic to warrant having the signal, it was removed due to lack of usage, but also to benefit the overall county not having to maintain the cost of the signal.
Doucette says the owner of the former Texas Roadhouse reached out to the road department about reopening that access to Mall Drive so improvements could be made. However, Doucette says for that to happen, there'd have to be some public-private collaboration.
The road department said that they're happy to work with them, but he will have to submit engineering plans on behalf of the Mall Drive owners for ingress egress before they're willing to begin any type of review.
Doucette explained the county's position in a letter to the property owners, James Paul and Associates. It was dated April 29th. He says, so far, there's been no response from those owners. Doucette says the reason the access drive can't be reopened is related to the sight distance deficiency for vehicles attempting to exit the mall and turn northbound onto Pipestone Avenue. He says the sharp curve in the road to the north severely limits visibility, and therefore a traffic signal would be required there, as there once was. But since the signal is now gone, the drive cannot be reopened.
Yeah, so I just happened to do a little Google search.
The non-civil engineer, Mike Weibel, yes.
Traffic lights may cost anywhere from $80,000 to $500,000 to purchase.
It's a lot of money.
And install.
It's a lot of money.
But to maintain it,
yes,
$5,000 to $10,000 a year.
Okay.
So wouldn't it have been cheaper to leave the thing up where it was at than jerk it down, and now you got to put a new one up?
But you don't have to put a new one up.
Thousands of dollars.
But you don't have to put a new one up.
Why?
Why do you have to put a new one up?
Well, but you don't now because you got those big concrete blocks.
You don't. I mean, you're talking about road maintenance that you don't want to pay for. You're talking about a signal you don't want to pay for, right?
Well, I don't want to pay for it.
Anyway, all right.
Can't you charge the mall owner, whoever REIT owns the mall property?
After we get their taxes.
That's right.
All right. More news. The new mural to get people talking about mental health issues has now been finished at the Papa High School, and students and teachers are hoping it will keep a dialogue going among the community. As we've previously reported, Papa High School art teacher Sarah Bentley wanted to send a positive message for Mental Health Awareness Month after she lost her son to mental illness and suicide. She spoke with students. They liked the mural idea, and then they brought in artist Marlo Broughton to help. Bentley says the mural was finished on the 1,800 square foot outdoor wall at the high school this week.
Marlo and students were just so creative with adding student poetry, different images of kids that represent our student body. We have our Red Wolf imagery and just really beautiful colors.
The artist was brought in by English teacher Sean Kubik, who tells us raising the money and getting the mural finished has been personally rewarding.
It was great seeing the community come together and then students kind of coming together and then bringing in Marlo. And so it's kind of cool to see all these different kind of like parts of the community, parts of like age groups kind of coming together to help out.
The school raised about $4,000 to complete the mural. They're not stopping there. Bentley says they'll continue to raise more funds to spread more positive messages on the building's walls. The students also launched an ice bucket challenge to get people talking about mental health, and they've nominated teachers, administrators, and even Governor Gretchen Whitmer to accept that challenge. So we'll see.
She probably will accept the challenge.
And not tell us.
Yeah, she just won't tell us that she did.
And not tell us that she's here. And finally, tickets are now on sale for the 28th annual South Haven Cottage Walk. Shout for South Haven's Patty Shepard tells us the Cottage Walk is happening on June 28th. There will be a chance for anyone to take a tour of noteworthy or historic homes around the community, perhaps to get decorating ideas for their own home, to learn area history, or just satisfy their own curiosity.
4 to 5 homeowners in the South Haven area open their homes or their cottages to the public. We sell tickets. The tickets are $20 each, and visitors tour the cottages between 12 and 5 o'clock.
Shepard says this year's cottages range from the historic to new construction to traditional cottages in the city's South Shoreline District. About 300 people take part in the Cottage Walk each year. Tickets are on sale during normal business hours at the South Haven Chamber of Commerce and the South Haven Visitors Bureau. Proceeds from the walk will support Shout for South Haven and the Scott Club. That's a look at.
And if you make the entire walk,
yes,
you're a candidate to be chief of police.
You're funny. 7:14. It's the WSJM morning show. For how long? Like a week or so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's only a week.
Right. It's the WSJM morning show. I'm Ken Lundberg here with Mike Weibel. It's Friday, May 30th. We've got more to talk about in a few moments. Right now, we've got sports. Dave Wolf is out. Brett Witkowski filling in.
In girls soccer district finals last night, Division II at Edwards.
Do that. Yeah, those concrete blocks, those big, they're not even Jersey barriers. They're like Jersey barriers on steroids.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Jersey barriers that him pumping iron Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was in his 20s and 30s.
It's like something you put out in front of the nuclear plant for avoid a terrorist attack. That would be the best thing that they could do for the ball, is somebody to practice a terrorist attack and burn that thing down.
No. What they should do is put small modular nuclear reactors there.
Oh.
That'd be good. And that would do two things. That would give us more clean energy.
Yeah.
and it would get rid of the gulls.
Good point.
Maybe, unless they would morph into like zombie gulls.
Yeah, like raptors.
Like
Gall
raptors. Oh, they would get This is a movie idea right here.
Is.
Trademark, copyright.
And then when Brett opened up the pickleball coliseum that he was going to turn the mall into, the raptors eat the pickleballers.
That is there too. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, because we could have the gulls get radiation, and then they turn into prehistoric pterodactyls, spelled with a P, and then also pterodactyl.
Yeah,
it's a joke. All right, and then also not a good one. And then also the pickleballers who are in there, all of a sudden start getting devoured.
And then the gall raptors' eggs look like pickleballs, so when they keep them warm, they're actually incubating more raptor gulls.
I would rather, let's change it a little bit. I would rather the pickleballers accidentally start using the raptors' eggs, and that's what sets the raptors off to come out of hiding
trigger
and start eating the pickleballers.
That is good. We need to work on this.
I think we should, and we'll have a big budget,
right?
to
and you know
make
what we're
the
gonna
film.
do with that budget? We're gonna take our windfall and buy a traffic signal.
Oh no, no. No traffic
and
signal.
tires for your car.
I'm still upset at the remind me to talk about AT&T.
Okay.
Because I'm a little upset about them right now. But the traffic signal, Colfax Napier still broken. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've caught it a couple of times and I thought maybe it was fixed. No, it's not. And at 4 a.m., just stay there for like 2 minutes while it cycles through. No other cars anywhere around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that'll get fixed soon. But AT&T is on my list because they have a lot of lip service and not a lot of action. And what's happening? Yeah, what's happening is they came and did service for one of my neighbors recently. I know this because I saw the van. The van was behind my house, blocking us in, which that's fine. You got to do your service. You do your service. They clipped some wires and they left them dangling there from the telephone poles. Okay, so the wires are dangling. They're just out of reach. So if I got a ladder, I could grab it. Stephanie will not let me grab these, right? Because they're dangling from where, Zap might come in or something like that. And so I have been on the lookout for AT&T people in the neighborhood because they've been knocking on the door like 2 days in a row. Hey, would you like to change your service to AT&T?
Oh.
And I'm like, no, thank you. Oh, but everyone else in your neighborhood it's the greatest thing. And blah, 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 blah. No, would not. And by the way, you got a couple of wires hanging out back.
Brian Mikesell, give Ken Lumberg a call about his wires.
And 2 times I've seen people in the neighborhood, like in my alley also. I said, hey, you guys left a couple of wires there. Would you mind doing that? Had a nice conversation. Oh, yeah, no problem. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Did they do it?
No.
They're still hanging there.
Yeah.
All right. Right back.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And a hearty good morning.
Hey, good morning to you.
It's 7:19. It's the WSJM morning show. If you're missing the video live stream, you're missing a lot because I was just ranting about a certain phone/internet company that left wires dangling in my alley and refuses to take them down. They're just, it's got to be some sort of safety hazard. If I accidentally brush them, will I pick up like phone conversations or something? Somebody's internet?
And not to say the name of the company, but if I was a pirate and it had a stutter, it would sound a lot like AT&T.
Yeah. No, so anyway, I've seen the vehicles in the back there. And maybe they're mad at me because I was talking about the other internet company who came and fixed my wire after the squirrels gnawed into it and it got contaminated with water and it was blocking the internet signal. That's a thing. Apparently the squirrels like to chew on the cables.
From what I understand, a lot of it is when the workmen are up there and their sweaty hands. I'm serious.
Okay.
The salt gets on the cable and then the squirrels will lick the salt and chew the salt off. And it's because they're sweaty little hands.
I think that's an urban myth, urban legend.
Last year during the drought, the squirrels, I have soaker lines that run through my so they would dig them up and gnaw out to get water So all of a sudden one day I'm pulling out of my driveway and the sprinklers come on and there's this water shooting out of everywhere. And it's because the squirrels gnawed into my
Those are
soaker lines.
smart squirrels.
They are.
Smart little rodents. A lot of people think they're just nuts. 7:21. It's the WSJM morning show. Let's see what else. The reward for the arrest of the 2 remaining inmates who broke out of the New Orleans jail this month has now more than doubled to $50,000.
Yeah.
$50,000, authorities announced yesterday. Police believe they are closing in on the dangerous fugitives. You don't believe it?
No.
We're closing in, but by the way, the reward is now $50,000.
The interview that I heard yesterday with an FBI agent said that they basically are ghosts at this point. It's been so long since they've been out that finding them is they could be anywhere. So closing in.
Who is it? Tommy Lee Jones?
Yeah.
Get him on the case.
Yeah. The Marshals.
Yeah, he could do it.
Good.
That was a great movie.
It was.
That's so good.
I like Tommy Lee.
Yeah, Antoine Massey and Derek Groves are among 10 inmates who escaped from the Orleans Justice Center on May 16th. That's according to Louisiana State Police. In the nearly 2 weeks since, 8 of the inmates have been captured. God, that would really stink, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You were one of 10 folks who got out and you got captured.
Yeah.
Couldn't you run faster? What were you doing at the casino?
Like they say, you don't have to be the fastest. You just to be quicker than the guy behind you.
They had a couple of them. They found them on Bourbon Street. I mean, come on. What are you doing?
Yeah, well, they were at Carson.
Go to Michigan.
They were in jail for a reason.
That's true. In the nearly 2 weeks since, 8 of the inmates have been captured, but Massey and Groves remain on the run. There are now rewards totaling $50,000 per inmate for tips leading to their arrest. That includes rewards being offered from the Crime Stoppers of Greater New Orleans, the FBI, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosives, and Toys. No, I'm just kidding. The Hodges says the police have some strong leads about where the remaining 2 fugitives are, though they still need tips because the men are on the move.
They need to call the Pokagon police because they can find anybody with a drone.
They've got drones. They've got cool drones. I can't wait for more information on that one.
There's a story there.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about the escapee from Cassopolis, who was found with the help of the Pokagon tribal police, who used a drone in that area. We don't have full details on that because the police have not yet released everything. They say they're going to give us more information today, so we'll see. Back on the New Orleans case, though, they say they're confident they're closing in on the remaining 2 escapees. We should have them in custody soon. We are resilient, and although they're going to get tired and frustrated as they try to move around Louisiana or move around metropolitan areas because they know the walls are closing in. Where would you go if for some horrible reason, Mike, you were in jail and you escaped through a hole behind the toilet?
Good life choice.
And we're on the run.
Yep.
Where would you go? Would you go north, south? Would you hunker down? What would you do?
Well, I guess it would depend on what border was the closest.
Yeah.
But probably south.
Well, I mean, in New Orleans, you're probably going to get eaten by an alligator.
Yeah.
Somewhere, anywhere. I don't know.
By a snake.
I certainly wouldn't find myself on Bourbon Street.
Certainly wouldn't go in the swamp.
Yeah, not in the swamps, not in the Bourbon Street.
But they were saying yesterday with that guy that there's so many caves along there.
Caves?
Caves.
Wow.
That you could hide out in a cave for quite a long period of time. And
you're going to eat squirrels?
There's so many. Yeah, eat squirrels and basically hack into traffic signals. And but they said that it's a very difficult terrain to find people if you really don't want to be found.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, if you're talking about bayous and swamps and all that other kind of fun stuff, you've got the dogs can't find you.
Right.
I would think. Maybe they can.
Well, when you think of New Orleans, some people think of, a guy standing there with a bib overalls with no shirt and only one side is clipped. But that's not New Orleans.
Get out of my head, Mike. Does he have a straw hat?
Yeah, of course. A piece of grass out of his
mouth. That guy.
Yeah.
All right. Other news. Let's talk about the economy for a second. Best Buy yesterday missed quarterly revenue expectations, and they cut their full year sales and profit guidance. Because why? Well, they say higher tariffs are increasing the costs of many consumer electronics that it sells. For its fiscal 2026, the retailer now expects $41.1 billion of revenue. somewhere around that neighborhood, down from its previous range. It said it expects adjusted earnings per share to range anywhere from $6.15 to $6.30 compared to the prior guidance of $6.20 to $6.60. Best Buy already increased prices on some items to blunt the costs of the tariffs, with changes taking effect mid-May. They also called the price hikes the very last resort after the company takes other steps to offset their higher expenses. She declined, the CEO of the company, Corey Berry, declined to specify which items are affected, citing competitive reasons. That's too bad, because I was thinking about a new TV.
Yeah.
And
just wait a little bit.
You think?
Yeah.
Taco
TV.
Taco. They could have sales called Taco TVs.
Yeah. Taco Tuesday.
We're talking about the acronym that President Trump really bristled at this week when a reporter asked him in a news setting. Are you upset that people are calling you Taco? Trump always chickens out. Yeah, that's it. He got real mad.
He wasn't impressed.
He was not impressed. Let's see. Let's talk also about home sales for the economy. After years of bidding wars and climbing home prices, the balance of power in the housing market apparently showing signs that it might be shifting. Home sellers now vastly outnumber buyers in the U.S., according to an analysis released yesterday from the real estate company Redfin. The report found that there were nearly 500,000 more home sellers in the market than buyers as of April, which is the largest gap between the two groups since Redfin began compiling the data back in 2013. What they're saying is the data is an early indication that the U.S. housing market may be experiencing a slowdown, not because home prices nationally are becoming more affordable, but because there are fewer buyers. It's the latest sign that a long building affordability crisis, now compounded by trade tensions and recession fears, might be finally catching up with the housing market. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking part of it, a large part of it, has to do with interest rates.
Yeah.
What in the world? How in the world are you going to afford that home that's already inflated in price with those interest rates?
So one of the guys in my office he bought his home. They lived in St. Joe, 3-bedroom ranch. That he bought it for $179,000, which is now like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
On Zillow, that exact same house right now, which is not anything crazy different than anybody else's 3-bedroom ranch, is almost $400,000. And his house that he was able to buy when he sold his house for more than he bought it for, that house at the current interest rate, his payment would almost be double of what he's actually paying. So those dynamics really make a difference when people they can only afford so much,
right?
You know?
Right. Or they're only willing to go so far into risky debt.
Right.
Remember the balloon loans?
Yeah, I had one of those ones.
Oh my gosh. Did you get out in time?
Yeah.
That's good.
It's a 7-year arm.
Ugh.
And it ballooned. It ballooned. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were tough years.
But they're back though.
Are they?
So the arms, the variable rate arms are back because interest rates are projected to only go down. So everybody's like, well, you can buy today and your rate's going to go down.
It's a sure thing.
Right. Don't worry about it.
It's a sure thing.
And have you bought a new warranty on your car yet?
Yeah, don't forget about the undercoating. And also the if the housing market were to take a dive, then you couldn't unload it for what you bought it for, and you still have that loan.
Right.
Got some big problems. Anyway. All right. Despite the recent drop off in demand for new homes, prices have continued to rise. The median existing home sales price rose 1.8% year over year in April to $414,000. I'm pretty sure my parents bought the house I grew up in, I was raised in, for $30,000.
Yeah.
It was a brick house.
Yeah.
Wolf could not blow it down.
Not even if they huffed and puffed.
They huffed and puffed, and I still remember
back then they smoked unfiltered. So
excuse me, Dad didn't know about that. He might have smelled it, but he didn't find me. Anyway, $414,000 is what the median now is. That's according to data released by the National Association of Realtors last week. That is an all-time high for the month of April and the 22nd consecutive month of year-over-year price increases. Also got mortgage rates continuing to the monthly expenses that new borrowers can incur. The average rate on a standard 30-year fixed mortgage, which is still the most popular type of home loan, currently hovering somewhere just under 7%.
Wow.
7%. And that's for the 30-year fixed. So you mess around with that number, you're going to pay more.
Right.
Yeah. All right. 7:30. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Mike Weibel here. We're sharing good news at some point. Yeah. We've got more financial news coming.
Raindrops and sunshine.
From the Bloomberg folks. They're coming up in just a moment. Also, the latest world and national news from ABC. It's right here.
What would you call
$30,000? It's a number that's ingrained in my mind because my parents, I think that was from my sentient memory, it was their third residence, their second home, because we moved to Idaho when I was a wee little toddler and they built a home.
Okay.
And then we sold that and moved to Washington State and rented actually on a farm. It was a great situation for a little while, and then found that home and they bought it for $30,000. $30,000. Turned around and sold it after the kids were out of the house. $80,000. Dad was laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
$80,000. I think that home is probably going for like 150 to 200 now.
Yeah,
something
easily,
like that.
probably.
But and then they turned around and built another house, and that one was probably in the 200s, somewhere around there.
And now it's probably
probably 4 or 5. Yeah. Crazy. Well, I mean, and it had an insanely large yard. I mean, it was seriously like an acre.
Oh, yeah.
Of yard. It was all finely manicured. Then they got rid of that.
Yeah, I had a house in Lakeland, Florida that was an acre inside the city limits.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was like,
that's like Southern hospitality right there. That's beautiful.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Great for kids.
Hurricane issues?
Well, yeah. 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 So what happened was, it was crazy because my backyard was a low spot in the area, in the neighborhood.
Oh,
and there was
gators.
At one point, there was a ditch that ran through the property lines and drained out into the storm sewer. But the house at the very end, which would have been like 6 houses down, the guy was on the city commission. We'll see parallels here, but on city commission, and got a permit to build a tennis court over the ditch.
Oh no!
So the ditch no longer flowed.
Oh no!
And so
no culvert or anything.
Nope. Tropical storms. We have tropical storms. I would have 3 foot of water in my backyard, and it was everybody in the round drained to my backyard.
Oh.
Then I would pump it. I'd run a pump and pump it out to the storm sewer, and then the city would come by and tell me, "Yeah, you can't do that. You can't pump into the storm sewer." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And they're like, "Yeah." And they drive away and they crank that thing back up.
You couldn't just sue the guy for causing your drain issue?
Yeah, well, because he was connected.
City commissioner.
He was connected.
Wow.
So I was like, how did this get approved? And they were like, well,
yeah.
And I talked to a utility guy, and he's like, I'm like, so can I talk to somebody, city manager, to get this? I said, if they just ran a pipe underneath this tennis court, it would solve the problem.
Right.
He goes, that's not going to happen. Just letting you know.
Oh, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know why Elon Musk built his own town in Texas.
Yeah, for sure.
Take care of that problem right now.
Bing, bang, boom.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Oh, we haven't talked about the parking stuff yet. So again, my thought is it's new.
Yep.
Change is always resisted. Always resisted. And so is this going to meet the objectives? We're talking about the parking situation in downtown St. Joseph. Is it going to meet the objectives that the city has set out to meet? And I thought the city's idea was that they wanted to free up the parking so that you could have more traffic coming in and out, not traffic just come in, sit for the day, and go out.
Right.
And that in and out traffic would boost the opportunity for economic activity.
Yes.
I thought that's what the deal was.
Yes.
And so we also thought that the downtown had been brought along with it, but we're now learning that wasn't the case.
Correct.
And now there seems to be a lot of finger pointing going on as to whose idea it was in the first place.
Well, and I just, and again, this is my perception. We talked about this a little bit in the
Yeah.
break. Is May 15th they turned this on,
Right.
and now we're basically at May 30th, and they're already making Twinks. I would have hoped that they would have been prepared enough that it at least would have been able to run through the summer to where then they could look back and say, hey, this is what we've learned.
Well, they wanted to be nimble. They wanted to be fast to make adjustments because this is a new thing for everyone here.
Right.
But to your point, it's not a new thing everywhere. We've got to get back on the air. Hang on one second. We'll continue our conversation. I promise.
Okay.
Stand by.
There's a buzzer going on.
That's all right. The fries are done. It's a WSJM morning
I
show.
love fries.
Changes on an item-by-item basis. For example, it held prices of pineapples and bananas steady, but raised prices for other goods considered non-essentials. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Not pineapples and bananas. Pineapples and bananas. It's 7:36. It's the WSJM morning show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me on this Friday morning. Fine Friday morning is Mike Weibel. And we've got a weather forecast for you. Let's see what the temperature is out. Right. I see sunshine.
Yeah. It's like Ken and Friends romper room. I see
Sunshine
sunshine.
on
I
the
see
water.
leaves.
It's beautiful outside. Mostly sunny skies are, is what we have right now. We cleared out the clouds. Hopefully that fog is mostly lifted. 53 degrees in Benton Harbor, 54 in St. Joseph, 51 in South Haven, down in Buchanan right now. It's 52. Same thing in Niles. Same at the South Bend International Airport right now, where they still have some cloud cover, but that'll clear up too.
Yeah, it's a personal problem.
Partly cloudy skies today. Only a 20% chance of showers. The high today is supposed to climb up to 75 degrees. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy. We do have a chance of evening showers and storms, but the clouds and the rain and all that stuff should clear out by the morning. Our owl is back, it seems.
Oh.
Yeah, we discovered a family of owls. What do you call a pack of owls? Can you look up on your little computer thingy there?
Pack of owls?
What do you call
called a pack?
Well, what do you call a group of owls? What do you call? It's not a murder of owls. That's a murder of crows. Anyway, the owls are back. Tomorrow's forecast, mostly sunny on Saturday, high of 68, lower 60s near the lake. And Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, mostly sunny, highs 73 on Sunday, 83 on Monday, 86 on Tuesday.
I would have never guessed what you call a family of owls.
What do you call a family of owls?
A parliament.
Really?
Yep.
Assemble the parliament.
Exactly.
Is that where they wear the big wigs and the fancy robes?
Yes.
The
Other less
parliament?
common names include a wisdom or a congress.
Oh, why is it parliament or congress? That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Because the owl. Oh, you know why? I bet it's tied to Ben Franklin, because Ben Franklin thought that the owl should be the national bird.
I thought it was the turkey.
Well, maybe it was the turkey. Was it the turkey?
Yeah.
Oh, darn it. Okay, well, maybe I got my history wrong.
But the owl was the one that got to the inside of the Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop.
That's right. I do remember that.
1,
2, 3. Nah, anyway. All right, we digress.
Obviously, we were raised from the same era. And if you're young, you're like, what the are they talking about?
Yeah, a Tootsie Roll Pop. How many licks does it take to get to the center? Who cares?
Right.
7:39. You know what we could do if we wanted to modernize it?
Yeah.
How many TikToks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
That
scroll.
Right, exactly.
Nobody counts anymore. We've got national news right now from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The White House putting forth another peace plan for Gaza. ABC's Ian Panel is in Tel Aviv.
President Trump and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff submitting this new ceasefire and hostage release plan with Israeli backing. The idea is a 60-day ceasefire, the release of 10 living hostages and the bodies of 18 others. In exchange, Israel would release some Palestinian prisoners, withdraw its forces to a buffer zone, and allow more vital aid in.
Hamas said to be reviewing the document, but acceptance is doubtful because Hamas wants a commitment to end the war completely. The White House says President Trump will have a big announcement today. It will involve Japan's Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel. He'll be in Pennsylvania to do it. A federal judge has extended an order blocking the Trump administration's attempt to bar international students from enrolling at Harvard University. An appeals court letting the Trump tariffs stand temporarily after the U.S. Court of International Trade ruled they amounted to presidential overreach. This is ABC News.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
We're learning all kinds of fun bird stuff, and we'll continue, and we'll tell you about it here in just a moment on the video live stream. But good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Mike Weibel. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Some of the news that we have coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Follow up to a story from earlier this week. On Wednesday, we told you about Cassopolis Police, who shared a public alert that during a police transport, they had a suspect escape from custody, and that suspect was somehow able to get a hold of a police vehicle and took off in that. A few hours later, they were able to recapture that individual. But we'll give you some details and some of the reasons why the Cassopolis Police Department is under scrutiny now about the communication and the transport protocol and vehicle security and all kinds of stuff. So that's coming up at 8 o'clock. Also, yesterday, we told you about some adjustments underway with the paid parking program in downtown St. Joseph. Even so, many downtown business owners still not satisfied.
Not happy.
And no, they're not happy at all. And they say they're losing revenue. They're losing their life income. So we'll talk about that story. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. And also the ribbon cutting, excuse me, for the new splash pad in Coloma. So if you're looking, it's going to get warm over the weekend. Maybe not incredibly warm, but enough for kids to be in the fountain warm. Maybe there's a splash pad in Coloma you want to check out. So we'll tell you.
Brand new.
And it's brand new. Yeah. So we'll tell you about that and more coming up at 8 o'clock this morning right here on the WSJM Morning Show. It's 7:42.
The Michigan News Network.
Okay. You waited for the microphone to go off before you started talking about your murder of crows story.
Right.
You got to start from the beginning for our friends. And by the way, good morning, Bill, Diane. I'm going to assume Teresa's out there.
Oh, Teresa's got to be out there.
Teresa, even if you're not out there, I'm still going to say good morning
Teresa,
to you.
yours not out there. We need to start over.
And others. And Stephanie. Right. Hello, Stephanie.
And Dan Hansen, he's usually out there somewhere.
All right. So we were talking about, and by the way, Ben Franklin did not want the owl as a national bird. You're right. He wanted the turkey, but he did have an affinity for owls, apparently, in Poor Richard's Almanac.
Oh.
So there you go. That's all I got.
But I would never have guessed that a family of owls is called a wisdom, a Congress, or a parliament.
And parliament is the preferred, right?
Right.
I mean, so we had a parliament of owls in the tree right next to our house. 4 of them, all huddled together, all cute as buttons.
What kind of owls did you find?
Screech owls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, screech owls. And they disappeared for a day or two. And then our neighbor alerted us that at least one of them was back because they heard it in our backyard.
They say at night, like when after the sun goes down, you can go out and hear what owls are out and around because that's when they, I guess, get on
start making their noise.
The owl TikTok.
Very nocturnal.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. But you had a murder of crows. Do you appreciate crows?
Yes.
I appreciate crows. I love crows.
And when I say that, people go, ugh.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
I like crows.
Crows are great.
Crazy smart.
Yeah, they are super smart.
Right.
They have a long memory. Their memory, I think they rival elephants as far as memory.
Somebody actually told me that their memory is generational. So that if a crow has a family and a murder, not killing their family, but a family, and you're mean to them or whatever, that for generations they'll remember you.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
they carry grudges.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thus the murder acronym.
Murder. Okay. So you had crows in the backyard.
So my father-in-law started feeding the crows for whatever reason in the spring.
Okay. So he had an affinity for crows as well.
Yeah. Out of nowhere, he started feeding crows.
Okay.
So, but there was as he said, a family.
He probably saw the same documentary I did.
Maybe.
Okay.
But we won't go there. So he started feeding them, but he's sporadic in feeding them. So he'll go a couple of days without feeding them. And I noticed that they were hanging around the house.
Yeah.
So I was like, what are crows like? That's, because they'll feed them like pizza and stuff like that.
Sure.
So they really like peanuts in the shell.
Oh.
So I bought a bunch of peanuts in the shell.
Okay.
And when I was buying those on Amazon, I also bought a crow call.
A crow call.
Yeah.
Was that one of the associated items next to the peanuts?
No.
Okay. You had to go out and actively search for the crow call.
Yeah, it was $5. So
okay.
So I ordered this crow call. Right. Exactly. So I ordered this crow call, and then I go out and take a handful of peanuts. I'll put it out in the driveway. stand in the garage and hit that crow call. And like in 3 minutes, I'll have 4 or 5 crows in the trees swooping down, trying to figure out where this crow is at and why is he hollering from the garage. It's fun.
That sounds like a blast. And so the crow call. So again, being raised in Eastern Washington, my dad learned how to call coyotes using a rabbit call.
Yeah, that predator call thing.
So he's got the predator call for rabbits. He's got goose calls. He's got duck calls. They're all reed-driven items. Is yours as well?
Yes.
So it's a reed. So it's like a.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you watch a video on learning how to crow call?
No, I just mimicked.
There is
the
an art.
crows.
Yeah.
There is. So I would listen to them. So when they're basically just sitting up in the tree, just seeing who's around, they'll do 2 calls.
Okay.
They'll do that thing.
Yeah.
And then when they are excited about something, they'll do 3. Then if they're really wound up, like when I sit in the garage and they don't know what I am, they'll go like 4 or 5. And they'll say exactly alert, rally the murderers. So but I was just learning to see what they like.
Yeah.
And so so they'll come now and they are very smart. And so my hope is that they will basically learn when I'm out that it's a good thing.
Okay. I think they will.
Yeah.
And I think they'll appreciate you, especially for the peanuts.
So I also
How are you putting the peanuts out? Are they in a cage thing?
No, I just
so the squirrels are out there getting them too.
No, they don't have a chance. And squirrels do not like crows.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
they
crows
don't get
are in charge.
Okay, there's no peace agreement
That's
in
the
place.
Murder thing, yeah. But I also have deer in my area, and they come through, and I'll throw out stuff for the deer. And the deer will actually come to my sliding glass door in the back when there's no feed out for them.
Yeah.
And look in the sliding glass door like, excuse me.
That's cute.
We're here for breakfast.
Do you have video of that? You should get video of that.
Oh yeah.
Bring video in on Monday.
Okay.
Get one of the ones with the antlers.
Oh well, the bucks.
Yeah.
Well, right
one
now,
of the ones with the antlers.
Right now are there's the does are having babies. So.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
But we've got 2 years in a row. We've had twins in the neighborhood. Yeah.
Aw, that's cute. Do you name them?
I did when we first moved there. My first deer that I named, her name was Lucy, and Lucy would let me get like 8 foot from her.
Aw.
And then she got hit by a car. Seriously, she did.
That's
at the
sad.
turn. I know.
That's so sad.
I don't name them anymore.
Yeah.
And then there was
I can envision Mike is like, oh, come here, Lucy, and then smash.
Yeah. But then last year, one of our fawns got hit on the corner of Brown School in Cleveland.
Oh my god!
And my wife called all upset because it was out in the road. So I had to come home from work.
Yeah.
Move it off the road.
No.
Then ultimately, because you don't want to get run over a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And then she's like, you can't just leave it on the side of the road. So I had to bury the deer.
You did not.
I did.
Yikes. Are you having an issue with flies right now?
No.
It's like an Amityville horror thing.
Really?
I'll talk about this in a second. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
To audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Partly sunny and mild today. We're going to see high temperatures that will be in the low 70s. As we head into the afternoon, it will become a little bit breezy with cloudy skies and a slight chance of a shower. A few scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight. Then we clear out. We drop down to 47. And Saturday, sunny skies. High temperature, especially near the lakeshore, will only be near 60. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:49. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We were talking about on the video live stream how my backyard is now like the Amityville horror.
Yeah.
Do you remember that movie?
I do.
And it was supposedly based on a true story. It's since a lot of people have debunked it. But I mean, Ed and Lorraine Warren were part of the crew that investigated it. They claimed it was stuff was going on there. And one of the things that happened was there were a ton of flies for no reason inside the house, collecting up on the window and all that. I mean, it was it was a nice horror movie effect. Who knows if it actually happened in person? But last night we're going out to walk Russell, who got fired from his groomer. We're getting ready to walk Russell, and Stephanie points out on the lawn furniture brand new, by the way. Not brand new. It's like last year. We bought it at the end of last season. And nice cushions and everything else. Hundreds of little house flies on all the cushions outside.
Alive
and flying around.
Oh, that's weird.
It's totally weird. I don't understand because it's not like we've been eating out there on the cushions or anything.
Yeah.
And so there's no tree overhead dropping
Are
sap
they new
on them.
cushions or old cushions?
Well, the cushions from last year. I mean, we bought them at the end of last year.
Hmm.
So
What if
maybe
there's something that's sprayed on them that attracts the flies?
it must be,
preservative or something.
but they all look like little baby flies.
Oh.
So we were wondering, well, did they come from a manufacturer where some fly laid eggs, and now we're going to
that
have
would be gross. wouldn't it?
African house flies are coming into the place or something like that? Sorry if we did that.
Mm.
It's time for your Moody on the Market update, though. Your Moody on the Market. So if anyone has any ideas of A, why that might be, and then B, how to get rid of them like en masse, because if they're still there when I get home today, guess who's dealing with it?
You.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking Raid will be involved.
I usually like to go for natural solutions, but if necessary, I'll break out the Raid
chemical.
bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Raid bombs are fun. You ever do those?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun. Okay, Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. We're probably not using as directed, by the way.
Probably not.
Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And one of the articles we have posted at moodyonthemarket.com right now, after it was carefully researched and written up by a news person.
Oh, boy.
Local author launches third children's book at Sunrise Farms event on Saturday. This is beautiful. I love this. The Roly Poly Holy Hedgehog.
Roly Poly Holy Hedgehog.
And Holy is WHOLLY.
Okay.
The Roly Poly Holy Hedgehog. A whimsical new character is rolling into Southwest Michigan this weekend. Families are invited to come along for the ride. Local author Chrissy Meek, writing under the pen name Callie Lee, is celebrating the release of her third children's book, The Roly Poly Holy Hedgehog, with a special event. It's this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Sunrise Farms. That's at 1310 Hillendale Road, just east of Benton Harbor. It's aimed at children ages 1 through 10 and fun-loving grown-ups as well. The story follows a cheerful little hedgehog. Can you look up what a group of hedgehogs would be called,
I'm on
please?
it.
Okay. The story follows a cheerful little hedgehog as he rolls through the seasons with his sidekick friends, Skittle and Squeak. The book reading for the children is scheduled at 11:30 tomorrow, and families are encouraged to bring their young readers out to enjoy the adventure in person. They say that Meek says the story is about a delightful and fun-loving hedgehog who is rolling through the seasons with his sidekicks. He's full of adventure, and he wants to bring you along. She's a resident of Watervliet, also serves the local community in her day job at the Women's Business Center at Cornerstone Alliance.
Why does she need a pen name?
Because you write under pen names. I don't know. Why do we?
Because we've already mentioned her name and where she lives. So
I
she's
know.
not hiding anything.
Not anymore.
No. A prickle or an array is what a family of hedgehogs is called.
A group of hedgehogs would be a pickle.
Prickle.
Oh, a prickle.
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 Or an array. ARRAY.
An array. I like prickle.
Yeah.
Hey,
prickle's
it's a prickle of hedgehogs.
Right.
This latest book is the first in what Meek describes as a 4-part series, joining her previous titles, The Magic Puppy and Happy Tale, all available at Amazon for those unable to attend Saturday's event. If you want more information on the book, the location, the event, the reading, it's all posted right now at moodyonthemarket.com. And your Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles.
And
yes,
to
Mike.
add to our animal trivia, a prickle is also a group of porcupines.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense to me because
And the hedgehog prickle thing. You kinda
hedgehog looks prickly,
right,
but
but
it's
they are
not.
not.
The porcupine is prickly,
And it is.
and you should call it a prickle.
Right.
754.
Rich Brand and Tarek Halsey of IMS Insurance Management Service. Your
Let's see. Prickle. There's a prickle of hedgehog about to run into a murder of crows.
Somebody better call the parliament.
Call the parliament owls to come in and
to figure out what to do.
Yeah. Okay. Groups
We got it.
of animals. Okay.
Stephanie Lundberg is on the live stream.
I like how you sing that. That was good.
Stephanie Lundberg.
What do you call a group of pigs?
Swine.
A sounder.
A sounder.
A sounder. Yeah. What do you call a group of elephants?
I don't know.
A parade.
A parade.
A parade. Look, a parade of elephants. Yeah. Watch out for that parade of elephants.
Right.
Because it sounds so happy until they stomp on you. Let's see. Meerkats, a mob or a gang.
Mob. Yeah. Lions are a pride.
Yes. Very good. Let's see what else we have here. Slow websites. We have slow websites.
Called AT&T. No, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, so anyway, so they won't take down the darn cable. I don't understand what the deal is. And even the last person that I talked with about it said the cable that's hanging there, oh yeah, that looks like an old phone cord. Yeah, that looks like an old phone cable.
So I'm sure it's dead, right? It's
Me
not
too.
a charged line,
Yeah.
but still.
Yeah, I can see it. It looks dead. I don't know. I don't understand. Get rid of it.
Right.
Let's see. I wonder if the city would, if the city patrols that, because they have to get a right of way from the city to put those in.
Right.
And in order to do that, they have to maintain said wires. And if wires are hanging down, that seems to be a potential hazard.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if the city
can
would care
I
about
tell
that.
You
Yeah.
What a Pandora's box of a conversation we just opened.
Oh, what?
So when I
what?
built my house,
Yeah.
I had a pole on my property that was rotting.
Okay.
So it was leaning at a 45.
It's a
over the
utility
road.
pole.
Yeah.
Okay.
That had wires on it.
Yeah.
So I called St. Joe Township. They're like, not our pole, not our problem.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, well, who do I call? We'll call Indiana Michigan Electric.
Oh.
Several calls to them. They finally came back and said, well, we'll come out and look at it. They looked at it. Yeah, that used to be our pole, but it's not our pole anymore.
You're kidding.
No.
They disowned the pole?
Yeah.
Okay.
So even though it had a street light on it, not their responsibility.
Okay.
So then I finally figured out that it was AT&T's pole, that they had run cable line on it. And to do so, they had to assume the pole.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, but this pole is about to fall over.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we'll see about what we could do. And so what I did was I took a picture of the pole and the rottingness and a school bus going by and just sent it to the township, said to Indiana, Michigan, and to AT&T to say, hey, I'm making you aware of this unsafe condition. And if this pole falls over on a school bus, that it was not my fault, that no one would do anything about it.
Yeah.
Within 2 days, somebody was out replacing the
Nice.
pole. Yeah.
Nice. That was smart.
Public shaming.
That was smart on your part. I don't know that I have that same kind of situation though.
Not quite that extreme, but
I mean, I could,
Right.
if ever a school bus would need to come down that street and
or
that
some
alley.
tall little kid went by and decided to swing on a wire.
Oh,
That
I
be
could get
bad.
Samuel out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Back in a minute. It's the WSJM morning show.
Bryant Factory authorized dealer.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:59 WSJM morning show continues. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Mike Weibel. We hope you're having a good Friday morning.
Oh, you're going to be having a great Friday.
Because?
It's Friday.
Oh, it's Friday. Oh, okay. Great Friday.
Weather's great. It's
the
Friday.
weather. Yeah, the weather's very good.
If you're not having a great day, it's on you.
That's correct. 54 degrees in Benton Harbor, 54 in St. Joseph, 53 in South Haven. We've got sunshine out there right now, and we're going to keep the sunshine this weekend. It's going to be mostly sunny Saturday and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday, and the highs are going to get up into, by the time Monday rolls around, into the 80s. It's the WSJM morning show, 8 o'clock, World News Now.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston.